Okay, then the last thing is one that I didn't. It was actually, I should have done this last year. Your group was pretty good. They could have got this. Okay. It says Margaret is planting. I don't know how you plant a garden. Planting a rectangular garden. Its length is 4 feet less than twice its width. Its area is 170 square feet. Approximate the dimensions of the garden. So you need the length and the width. Okay. Now set up your area equation. We all know that the area of a rectangle is found by taking the length times the width. Now the area is given in the form of 170. Now, but the problem is, here's a problem. You need to fill out both these so they have the same variable. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to solve it. Okay, and here's what you do. You use this sentence here. Go up here. Length is means equal, and then put W somewhere on the other side. Now, these other numbers, 4 and twice, mean operation. So 4 less means minus 4, and then twice means multiplied by 2. Okay? So in the L, you're actually going to write 2W minus 4. And in the W, you're just going to use W itself, because now I can solve an equation for W. Okay, so I take 2W times 1W, that's 2W squared, and then negative 4 times 1W is negative 4W. Now, since we have W to the second and W, we know we have two answers, and we're going to have to set up the factoring. Okay. Only one of these is going to be legit, though, in a story problem. Now, remember, it has to be equal to 0, so 170 has to come over here as minus, okay? So I'll put minus 170 equals 0. Okay, we go into our GCF. And I'll just warn you, on these problems I wrote, the T is not going to work. GCF would be 2 here, just 2, though, for what it's worth. So it's W to the second minus 2W, and that's going to be minus 85. Okay, so that's a 1 now. ABC that. Okay, 1 times negative 85 is negative 85, but I wouldn't waste time because they all fail, the T-chart. So use your quadratic formula. You have to approximate then. Opposite of B plus or minus the square root. B squared minus 4A C over 2A. Okay, so the opposite of the B would be positive 2. B itself is negative 2. Okay, and then you got 4A is 1, and C is negative 85. Okay. Then the A is 1 right there, and we know 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, now calculate your square root. Okay, so second. So negative 2 to the second minus, and you're not going to get a domain error here. Okay, so, and this is a story problem, so I'm not going to do all the square root dividing and all that crap. Okay, so it's 18.55. Okay, round to the nearest hundredth, and then you're ready to calculate your answers. You punch in 2 plus 18.55, hit equals, and then divided by 2. So 10.28. That looks like a decent enough, reasonable answer. And then I go 2 minus 18.55 equals, and then divide by 2. Negative 8.28. Now, I disregard the negative, okay? So I'm going to go with 10.28 for my W, okay? Now, to find your length, you take that 10.28 and just put it up here, okay? Times 10.28. And I just can find L is equal now to 2 times 10.28. And then minus 4. That's going to be 16.56. Okay. Now those are approximate. They're not exact. It can never be exact when you use a quadratic formula. Okay. That's why it says approximate instead of find it actually. Okay. Do another one. A garden's width is 5 feet more than twice its length. Its area is 240 square feet. Find the dimensions of the garden. So again, there's that area. Okay, again, that's length times width, but we need to fill out these parentheses so that the same letter is in each one. Okay, because I can't solve it if it's got an L and a W. and we use this information here. The width is, so W equals, and then I put my L, okay, is means equals. 5 feet more, well, more than the operations add, so plus 5, okay? Twice its width length, so you just put a 2 in front of your L. So we're going to, in the W parentheses, we're going to actually put 2L plus 5, because that's what your W equals. And then in the L parentheses, we'll just put L. So I'm going to be finding my length first, okay? So I take 1L times 2L is 2L squared. 2L times 5 is 10L. And then remember that 240 has to come over and it becomes a minus. You can't be combined with these. It just comes over, equals 0. Okay, GCF and table. GCF, well, they're all even, so we can factor out a 2. So you're going to get L to the second with an implied 1 there, plus 5L minus 120. Okay, so I ABC it, but don't even bother with the T table because it's going to fail. Okay, because you're never going to find two factors of negative 120 that can, no matter how you arrange the signs, that add up to positive 5. Okay, so quadratic formula opposite of B plus or minus the square root B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. Okay, so the opposite of plus 5 is negative 5. B itself is 5 to the second. Then we got 4A is 1. And C is negative 120. Okay, now on bottom you got A. A is going to be 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Get that, calculate that square root. So you go second square root. Then you got 5 to the second power. Subtract a 4. And you've done this many, many times. Okay, 22.47 is the approximation. I round to the nearest hundredth, and then that allows me then to get my two solutions for the equation. But only one of them is going to be a legit answer for the problem. So negative 5 plus 22.47 equals, divided by 2, 8.74. That's probably the one we're going to use. Okay. Now I take negative 5 minus 22.47 equals, divided by 2, and that's negative 13.74. So again, I discard the negative, okay? So my L's 8.74. Now to find your width, you go back up here, take your L out, because now that we know what L equals, 2 times 8.74. I take 2 times 8.74 plus 5. I get 22.48. Now again, that's not exact, okay? The reason it's not exact is because if I multiply these two answers, it should be close to 240, but it's not going to be dead on the money because I had to round it, okay? And that's why, okay?